Tom and Luisa are longtime theater professionals. Tom, as many of you know, is an educator at Foothill College. Luisa is a transplant from Portland. She did tons of theater up there. And then when she came down to the Bay Area, her first Bay Area show was The Seagull at City Lights, a romantic comedy that we did in 2018. She's worked with TheaterWorks and other companies down here. Tom's basically worked everywhere and with everyone and been in tons of shows at City Lights. Most recently, Stage Kiss, which was the last full run we had before the shutdown, where he played the director, which was, kind of typecasting. He was fabulous. We have, and you'll hear more about Tom and Luisa after the game too. I have a little slideshow of photos from some of their favorite roles. We have 3 contestants tonight. Feel free to root for one. Feel free to shout out the answer if you're muted and have your camera off. All of the above. We have Carol Alban, who is an actor, and she also is on staff at City Lights, but she didn't get any questions in advance, I promise. She's our marketing and executive assistant. You also probably saw her on our stage in The Wolves in 2019. That was our fall show. And she loves Shakespeare, as we know. Mike Rhone is also an actor. He has been seen all over the Bay Area, lots of theaters. Here at City Lights, we most recently saw him in Amadeus in 2014. He was also in Tommy. And he is very interesting and entertaining on Twitter. So that's where he and I know each other. Now, our third contestant, David John Chávez, I also know on Twitter. And actually, I know all of you guys on Twitter. David is a theater journalist. So you'll see his byline in the Mercury News, American Theater Magazine, and many other publications. And he's not interviewed me, but he's interviewed several people at City Lights, and I think many of the people on this call. So he knows us all. You're going to have a great time tonight. Tom has a few rules about cameras on, cameras off, that kind of thing. So I am going to turn my camera off and turn it over to Tom and Luisa.
There we go. We're using her microphone feed to avoid the echo thing. So hello, everybody. We're going to begin the trivia contest in just a minute. In order to maximize the benefit and achieve maximum experience for you, the audience, I'm going to ask you all to now please turn off your video feeds. You can turn them on after the show is over so we really only see the contestants. And of course, mute yourself, but we will be asking you to provide some stuff in the chat. Now, in a moment, Luisa's going to share her screen, and in sharing her screen, I'm going to give you some extra instructions that's going to further maximize your benefit. So again, if
Mommy, close your video.
If Luisa's mom and my brother would please turn off their videos.
Mommy, turn off your video. Stop your video. We can.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, no,
now you're back.
Yay! All right. So, in a moment, we have a couple of rules here for the contestants to follow. The first is that everything that they respond to must be phrased as a question, a la Jeopardy rules. There is no daily double, just so you know, but there is a final Jeopardy question. They will lose points if they answer incorrectly. Now, they each have a paddle that they're going to raise in their screen to ring in. So why don't you guys demonstrate that for us? Show your paddles. There we go. Now, Becky is off camera, but she is the judge of who raises their paddle the quickest.
I'm always watching.
They can raise their paddle at any time, but they must wait until the question or the response is finished being read before they are recognized. If they speak before they are recognized, then they will lose points or they will be eliminated for that question. So they have to wait until they are recognized at the end of the question being read. Audience, we'd appreciate it if you did not provide the answers in the chat while the question is being read. If the answers are provided are incorrect, we can open up the chat to you to provide it then if you so like. So at this point, go ahead, honey.
Here are today's categories.
Love at City Lights.
Shakespeare in Love. Uh-oh. If somebody comes in, okay.
Did we stall? Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Sing It When Words Fail.
What does that mean, Tom?
It means we'll provide a clue from a musical. So all of the responses in this category are musicals.
Ah. Oh, no. Here we go. What's it from?
What does that mean?
That means we will give you a quote from a play or musical, and you tell us which one it is.
Next, we have Love Hurts.
We know
I
all
think
about
we're all
that.
familiar
We
with
got
that. And finally,
City Lights Potpourri. Kind of a mixed bag.
all righty. As we transition to the grid now, Carol, you were the first one to arrive at our meeting today, so you are first. Go ahead and pick a category.
Love at City Lights for 100, please.
Here we go.
Passion Under the Spotlight, or the show where all but 2 of the cast got sick during the run.
Carol.
What is Stage Kiss?
Ding, ding, ding.
That is correct.
That is correct. Stage Kiss. So that's 100 points for Carol.
I'm just trying to, this meeting control keeps Carol. Carol gets 100 points. And yes, I want to do that. And it's very smooth, very smooth.
Very smooth.
Yes.
All right. Carol, you are still in control of the board.
Love at City Lights for 200, please.
The Love of Eurydice and the Name of Our Cat.
It was pretty close, but I think it was Mike.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Who is Orpheus?
Oh, that is correct.
Ding, 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 ding. Very good. It's 200 points to Mike, and Mike now has control of the board. Okay. So Mike, go ahead and choose.
Gonna have to go with Sing It for 100.
Sing it for 100.
This musical shows love as a big crap game.
David.
What is Guys and Dolls?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yay.
That is.
He's number 3. There we go. All right. Yes, that is correct. Guys and Dolls. Let's see the answer. Whoops. Okay.
Paper.
We believe you.
David, you are in control.
Let's stay with Love at City Lights for 300.
That's your cue, or your clue.
It's your turn.
Pineapple Love Express.
Pineapple Love.
Okay, this goes to the
Ding, 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 ding. All right,
chat.
Audience in the chat, do you want to put that one in?
Can you? I can't get the chat.
I'm watching the chat, so that means nobody got it. So the audience members can weigh in.
Yeah.
You can ring.
All right, audience, what do you think? Type your answers in the chat.
Uh,
You've got your first one. Do you want me to read it off, Louisa?
Yeah.
Mike knows
Who's
it now.
the first one?
Marley Wesley asks, "What is cabaret?"
What is
That's
cabaret
right.
is
And Marley was
correct.
in that show.
Karma points. Karma points to Marley. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, David, you're still in charge. You have control of the board.
Let's stay, Tom, with Love at City Lights 400.
Okay. A French diplomat uncovers a secret about his beloved.
David.
What is Kit Wilder in M. Butterfly?
M. Butterfly
Ooh,
is correct.
Very nice.
Ding, 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 ding. So that's 400 points for David.
Stop showing me this thing. Okay, there we go. 400 points. So he's at 500.
Okay.
Okay.
David, you're still in control of the board.
Let us finish up with Love It City Lights for 500. Kit, you were great in that show.
Ooh. A lonely engineer recreates his lost love as an AI.
Mike.
Ooh.
What is build?
Whoa!
Ooh,
Very good,
very
Mike.
nice.
Ding, 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 ding. Pulling one out of a few years ago. Very good. All right, Mike, you are now in five of the smaller one. So
let's
you are now
go back
control of the board.
Okay. Let's go back to Sing It for 200.
Sing it for 200.
The pies are made with heart in this grisly musical.
It was really close, but Carol got it first.
What is Sweeney Todd?
That is Sweeney Todd is correct.
Colon, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Sorry.
All right.
Hold on, I've got two.
All right, so Carol gets 200 points for that one. And Carol, you are in control of the board. When the board reappears, it's there we go.
Let's stick with Sing It for 300.
Sing it for 300.
Sing it for 300. Angel and Collins find love despite both being HIV positive.
Mike.
What is Rent?
What is Rent is correct. Again, another pearl from City Lights' past.
Oh,
all right, so 300 points to Mike.
Uh-oh, what happened to Mike's points? That's 1,000. Oh, there's the zero.
There are the zeros.
Don't ask. I didn't expect that. No.
All right, Mike, you're in control.
That's fine. Let's go Sing It again for 400.
Titled after a Fats Waller tune, this musical is a love letter to the musicians of the Harlem Renaissance.
David.
What is Ain't Misbehavin'?
Is correct.
Yay.
Ain't Misbehavin' is correct. Ding, ding, ding. All right. David, control of the board goes to you now.
Let us finish with Sing It for 500.
A complicated love grows in an Argentinian prison.
Mike.
What is Kiss of the Spider Woman?
Is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
So that's Mike here.
Very nice. Okay. So that clears out those two categories. Got to dig deeper now into one of the others. So Mike, you have control.
What's it from for 100?
If music be the food of love, play on.
David.
What is Twelfth Night?
Twelfth Night is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Goes to David.
All right, David, you are now in control of the board.
Okay, let's go Shakespeare in Love for 100.
Paulina's love is pursued by a bear in this play.
David.
What is The Winter's Tale?
Is correct. Ding, 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 ding. All right, still with you, David.
I do love the bell sound effects too, by the way, just to let you know. Let's go Shakespeare in Love for 200.
Wait. It's time for our Crazy Eights interlude.
Oh,
we're actually a little past
true.
it. Sorry, audience, we have a little interlude here to get you guys involved now that we're a third of the way through. We just want to open up the chat and everybody
just put into the chat. We want to know this. What is the first live theater show you remember seeing?
What is the
first
live
first
theater
one
show you remember
seeing? Let's just see what it is.
Mamma Mia, South Pacific, Lion King, Footloose, Fiddler on the Roof,
Musicals.
Peter Pan, Lion King, Hamlet, Cats, Oklahoma, Annie, Don Quixote, Velveteen Rabbit. Yay! No, Nanette, Kristen. Wow. Last of the Red Hot Lovers.
Wow. Okay. At any place, not just City Lights. Any place. Yeah.
The Hostage. Nice.
Wow.
Of course your dad took you to see that, kid.
Annie, Get Your Gun, West Side Story. Oh. So, Tom, what was the first one you saw?
All right, so kind of going off of Kit's theme here, since our dads knew each other, my dad and my mom took me to see a show in London when I lived there for a while when I was 7, called The Unknown Soldier, and it starred Peter Ustinov. Some of you may not know who that is. Hopefully some of you know who that is. I was sort of set up that this was a big deal, and all I remember about it was that he spoke with a funny accent. But that was my first show.
That says so much about your
Yes,
future.
it does,
Okay.
doesn't it? All right.
And my first show, Tom,
Your
I'm
first
glad
show,
you asked.
yes.
My first show was actually Oh, What a Lovely War that I can remember, which my mother was in. And that's my first memory of seeing my mother. And I just remember seeing it was sad. She was pretty. She sang. I just remember that about it. So, and what about you three? What about our 3 contestants? Do they have a first show they remember seeing?
Mine was Annie, the national tour, as a 5th or 6th grader on a school field trip.
Ah,
Nice.
nice.
Any others?
Mine
I-
was Annie, Get Your Gun. My
Oh.
grandparents lived in New York, and I remember seeing it on Broadway when I was very young.
All
Oh.
right.
And I saw a high school production of my school, but I mentioned Last of the Red Hot Lovers at Altarina Playhouse in Alameda.
Oh, wow.
Right on.
Nice.
Okay. Great. We are getting back to the game. We'll take another one of these interludes shortly. David, you are in control of the board.
Let's go Shakespeare in Love for 200.
Get your turn. Yes.
Sylvia's love in Two Gentlemen of Verona.
No paddles yet. Mhm.
And
Ooh, this is an
All right.
audience response.
audience, anybody know this one? Think of the Weekend.
It's an appropriately named character.
And there we go. Deb, Valentine.
Yay!
Valentine.
Of course.
Of course.
Okay. Things
right.
you'll never forget. Okay.
David, you're in control still.
Shakespeare in Love for 300, Tom.
Okay. These lovers battle the circumstances of the Trojan War. Pardon?
I'm gonna regret this. Who are Troilus and Cressida?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to regret that. Good. All right, so 300 points to Mike, takes back the lead and takes back control of the board.
I'm gonna move to City Lights Potpourri for 100.
Okay. This show dawned the age of City Lights' first major musical.
Mike.
What is Hair?
Is correct.
That is
Ding, ding,
correct.
ding, 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 ding. All right, Mike, you are still in control of the board.
Let's stick with the category for 200.
They are the multi-award-winning scenic and sound design duo behind most City Lights shows.
Mike.
Who are Ron Gasparinetti and George Saras?
That's right.
Oh, Carol, that one was
Gasparnetti
served you on a
Saras.
platter.
I tried. I'm not fast enough. I'm second guessing everything.
All right, yes. Gasparnetti and Saras. And Michael, you are still in control.
300 Potpourri.
This show's opening night first set change took 18 minutes.
This is
Ouch.
City Lights lore you got to be familiar with.
Or
And
audience?
audience, anybody? Noise is off from
Yeah.
Ann Unan. Yes, that is correct.
And Kit.
Noise is off.
And Kit too, yeah.
All right. Mike, you're still in control.
What is that yellow? I don't know.
We're drawn all over the screen.
Wow. Okay.
I'm scared of this category now, so let's go back to what's it from for 200.
Little Charles tells his love, I want everyone to know that I got what I always wanted, and that means I'm not a loser.
Mike.
What is August, Osage County?
That is correct. All right, Mike. Still in control?
Let's stay with what's it from for
there we go.
300.
You read this one, honey.
What a dump. And oh, I like your anger. I think that's what I like about you most, your anger.
It's Mike.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? What is Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Very good.
It's already a question.
I guess it's already a question.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. Mike's on fire. Mike is on fire. Somebody get a hose.
Let's stay.
Right.
What's it from for 400?
In this August Wilson play, Bertha says, quote, that's all you need in the world is love and laughter. That's all anybody needs, to have love in one and laughter in another. August Wilson play narrows it down.
Audience.
Okay, audience, any guesses? This is one of the more obscure ones.
Not really.
No, I mean, yeah, it was not one that was not the piano lesson. Good guess. Not Fences. Good guess.
Keep going.
Not Raisin in the Sun. 7 Guitars. Nope.
Nope.
Go the other end of the century.
There's a man's name in it.
Ma Rainey. No.
A man's name.
A man's.
Man's.
John Turner. Close enough. John
Turner's come and gone. Joe Turner's come and gone.
Very good. Okay. Mike, you're still in control.
Okay. Let's close out that category then for 500.
500. Think of me, whom the plainest woman would despise. Whom should I love? Why, of course, it must be the woman in the world most beautiful.
The plainest woman would despise.
Ooh, stumped.
The plainest woman would despise. Okay.
Audience gets to try.
All right, audience. Any guesses? Cyrano from Kit.
Yes.
It is Cyrano. All righty. Okay, Mike, that one's closed out now.
Okay, let's see what Love Hurts is all about for 100.
This epic 2-part play depicts a gay couple navigating the AIDS epidemic in 1980s New York. Becky, who we got there?
David, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What is Angels in America?
Angels in America is correct. Ding, 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 ding. All right, and David, before we go back to the board, it is now time for our second audience interlude.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. All right. Here's the second question. What was the last live theater show you saw before all of this? The last live theater show you saw.
Stage Kiss, Coded, Stage Kiss. Ours was Coded.
Yeah.
Coded. The Roommate. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Nice.
I Promised Her the Moon.
Mystery of Edwin Drood. Yeah, good. Anastasia, Stage Kiss. Dear Evan Hansen. Yeah, nice. Good. All righty.
What about our contestants? Did they put that in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had just seen Hamilton shortly before the shutdown too.
Yeah.
Eurydice, Stage Kiss, David Mamet, Forget the Title. Nice, Luann.
Forgot the title. I'm with you, Luann. Okay.
All right, great. Hamilton's okay. All right, David, we are back to you. You have control of the board.
Let's go Shakespeare in Love for 400.
The cat's must have got in here, this yellow scratchy mark. Okay. His greatest challenge is that she only speaks French.
David.
What is Henry V?
Yes.
Oh,
Very good. Henry V is correct. And that sneaks up a little bit. Okay, David, you are still in control of the board.
Let's go ahead and finish Shakespeare in Love for 500.
In both Twelfth Night and Merchant of Venice, this identically named character has often been portrayed as having more than platonic love for their friend. Twelfth Night and Merchant of Venice, character carries the same name.
David.
Who is Antonio?
Is correct. Very good.
Good one.
Very good. Ding, ding, ding. All right. And all right, David, you're still in control?
Yeah, let's go City Lights Potpourri for 400.
This person preceded Lisa and Tom as artistic director.
Mike.
I take it back. I don't know. I'm going to lose points.
Oh, come on, Mike.
No, I might. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. No others? And you know, oh, Carol, was the one?
I thought Carol Powell.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, Anne got it.
Lisa, that's not fair.
So yes, Ross Nelson was the name of the gentleman who preceded us.
I thought that might be a stumper.
All right. And I think, David, we're still with you, right? Yep.
Let's finish out City Lights Potpourri for 500.
Former columnist, San Jose Mercury columnist, Mark De La Vigna, regularly described city lights as... This is really obscure, but it's a good one to know.
This is where Tom educates
Yes,
people.
this is where Tom
These are
educates
questions
people.
he wanted to educate people.
Okay, and that's time. Audience, anybody have a guess? Scrappy? Scrappy? I think you did call us Scrappy once in a while, but there was a moniker that was coined. Go ahead, honey. The little theater that could.
Well, no one got that, so we're
Okay.
still.
So we're still with
there.
you, David.
Okay.
And actually, we're going to take our last little audience interlude now. Honey,
Yes.
what's the last question for us to fire away?
What show would you like to see as soon as theater's back in all its glory? What is there a show you would love to see? What's the first show if you could see all shows were running? What one would you go to?
My next show, anything. Come From Away.
That
Yes.
was beautiful.
Moulin Rouge. Huh?
Yeah.
Harry Potter. Right on.
Yeah.
Yes, Come From Away is magnificent. So highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And pretty much anything that Jagged Little Pill, the next City Lights show, right? Some of the ones that might have been selected for the next City Lights season, whenever we can get around to that. Assassins, Waiting for Next.
Oh yeah.
Cats Don't Dance.
What?
Carol, can you explain that one a little
What
bit?
is
What's
that?
Cats Don't Dance?
It's an old animated movie that my friends and I like, and we sing the songs to all the time. That should definitely be turned into a live stage musical.
Ah. Well, there's some work ahead.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Well, let's go back. And David, you are still in control here.
All right, let's go. I think we're just at Love Hurt. So let's let that love hurt for 200.
Here we go. Venus ain't got nothing on this fly trap. She's a man eater.
Carol.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but I don't know if it's. Who is Audrey 2?
Well, she's saying that So remember the category.
Yeah.
Well, the category is.
No, that just says love hurts, so that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's good.
We will
good.
accept
We'll
that.
From Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
Because I was just gonna say Little Shop of Horrors, but I didn't know if I needed to get more specific
No.
because it was She's a Man.
No, you're
That
good.
was our vagity. So excellent.
Points to you.
All right, Carol, you are in control.
Love Hurts for 300.
In this musical, teenagers discover their sexuality in repressed 19th century Germany and experience the bitch of living.
Everybody got it, but Carol was first.
What is Spring Awakening?
Ding, 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 ding. Spring Awakening is correct. Excellent. Carol, back to you.
Love Hurts for 400.
Ross lets the livestock out of the bag, and Stevie puts it back in. It's a bit of a
lost episode of Friends. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, this one
Yes,
is
Kit.
this one is out of the deeper City Lights past also, but audience, go ahead and put in a response there. The goat, or who is Sylvia, is
Yes, that is
correct.
correct.
Is correct. All right, so that leaves us with one category left.
Here we
So
go.
here we go.
The young shepherd Sylvius pines for her. This is also the name of our other cat.
We'll throw the hint. This is Shakespearean, folks.
Sylvius pines for her.
I'm afraid we're out of time there. And right on the ball there,
Yay!
Kit and Lisa. It is Phoebe,
Yes, Phoebe.
who's asleep on the chair about 4 feet away
Yeah.
from us here.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
Great job, contestants. Everyone is still in.
But it's
Still,
Final
it's anybody's
Jeopardy.
game for Final Jeopardy here. So first thing is now you have to write down what your wager is going to be on the sheet that you provided for yourself.
We should tell them the category.
Did we get the category? Yeah.
The category is City Lights History.
City Lights History. The scores are Carol has 800, Michael has 2,600, and David has 2,100. So Michael is in the lead, but depending upon people's wagers, it's still anybody's game. All right, raise your paddle in your screen if you've all written down your wager. Okay, all right. So the final Jeopardy question is, Great Scott, this is the only City Lights show produced twice in the 21st century. Do, 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 boom, boom. All right, Carol, with 800 points, we will start with you. So go ahead and show us your answer, please. And Rocky Horror is correct. Remember, you got to phrase it as a question, but we'll still take it. Rocky Horror is correct.
There's a question mark next, so it's Rocky Horror.
Oh, Rocky Horror. Okay. All right. And your wager was, I can't
It
see
said
that.
800. I bet it
800.
all.
So that takes her up to 1,600. All right. We next go to David, who was 2,100. Rocky Horror, and he wagered 2,000. 2,000. So that takes him up to 4,100, and leaving us to Michael. Michael's response was,
I knew this, but I didn't get it right because I got hung up on Scott. But I only bet 200, and I said,
Oh,
because
my bad.
I said Scott. That I just got hung up on that.
screw you.
But
Oh, so 200, but that takes you down to 2,400. That means David is our winner. Woo! All right.
David, now we're going to hand it back to Becky so she can tell you about your wonderful prizes.
And some love for our other contestants.
Thank you all.
Great job, everyone. That was fantastic. Very entertaining. I love the questions. And I love that I love the Gasparnetti and Stars question. And then George pipes up in the chat just immediately afterwards. All right. Let me just figure out how to click here.
We were going to ask who's City Lights' longest tenured employee, but we feared that she might be on the panel. So
yeah, really. David, here is your exciting prize. It is a bag of City Lights swag.
Oh,
So you've got all kinds of cool stuff in there. This bag is from the Wolves, which Carol was in. That's funny.
Loved the show. Loved it. It was great.
Yeah. Water bottle and all kinds of fun City Lights stuff.
Thank you.
That was terrific, Tom and Luisa. That was excellent.
oh, thank you. Thank you. We had fun.
it was fun. Once
There was some
the
stresses
software
getting all the
worked.
technical stuff worked out, but it was fun.
Everyone, you are welcome to turn your cameras back on. I have a couple of event recommendations for other fun events like this, and then we're going to have a little interview with Tom and Luisa. But first of all, feel free to turn on your cameras. Round of applause. Hi, Kit. Hi, Kristen. Oh my goodness.
Great job, you guys. That was totally fun.
Thanks.
Well done, everyone. And I just want to say a couple of words. If you enjoyed this, you have lots of other places to have this kind of event. Hill Barn Theater, as you know, in Foster City, every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 on their Twitch channel. They have a trivia show. They alternate family trivia and Name That Tune, which is awesome. I'm going to type their URL into the chat here, hillbarntheater.org. And Comedy Sports, the improv extravaganza organization that Tom is a big part of, Comedy Sports in San Jose. They have regular shows on Zoom every Saturday night, including intercity matches. February 13th, Comedy Sports San Jose is playing against a team from New York City. And February 20th, San Jose is playing Houston with Mr. Tom Gough scheduled to perform. Woo! And I'm going to type that link in. That is cscsanjose.com. And that's your info about Comedy Sports.
Tom is super freaking funny.
Yeah.
Do you know
Seriously, go see that.
I discovered today about, I said something in my post today about I was afraid if something went wrong. I said, good thing I'm married to an improver, and realized improver is, when you spell it out, is improver.
Ha! Nice.
Yes, and. Well, I am going to spend a couple of minutes showing you a slideshow of some of Tom and Luisa's favorite production photos of the shows that they've been in. We're going to talk a little bit about their illustrious theater careers, and then we're all just generally just going to talk about theater. And Kit will probably say a lot because he always does. Hi, Kit.
No, I just typed this time. Just watch your chat for salient comments.
I see you. Here's a little slideshow of some of their favorite production photos that they sent our way. To Ms. Carol for putting that together. All righty. I would just love for you both, Tom and Luisa, just start talking. Tell us a little bit about how you got into theater, and tell us a little bit about your theatrical path. Want to go first, Tom?
Okay, my theatrical path actually started in middle school. My first production was called A Test for William Tell, and I had the sort of incident in the middle of that show where I had to fire an arrow off stage. This was a live arrow, actually, off stage through a partition, like a curtain wall. And off stage, there was a pierced apple. And we went to do the show, and I fired the arrow, and I only missed the guy who I was aiming at by about 2 feet, and the arrow went directly into the partition. So we kind of had to, William Tell got a reboot the second attempt. So that was my first experience. It was a summertime summer school class that did a little performance. I didn't really get back into it until later in high school, when my first audition was for a play called Charlie's Aunt. I'll spare you the details, but it's a fun farce. And in the middle of my audition, I was looking at my script, and I kind of saying my lines, and I came across a stage direction, and I just dropped my script, and I said, "Do I gotta kiss his hand?" So I didn't get cast in that one, but I came back strong the next year.
So that's and then you went on to
from there I went on to other stuff. So
that was okay. I'm not going to go back to in kindergarten. No, not going to do that. I actually played viola. I still do periodically play viola for things, and I was finding I was playing for lots of shows in the pit, and I kept having this desire. I was very, very shy, but I wanted to do, and I found I wanted to be on the stage. I just kept having this desire as I was playing in the pit for things that I wanted to get up on the stage. And it wasn't until I did little plays and stuff throughout school, but I play the viola. And in my, somebody asked that. So in my undergrad, I was an English major undergrad, but I did a program where I could pick what I wanted to do. And in my junior year, I went abroad. They didn't have any English classes, and I already done all that. So they had theater classes, and I took the theater classes. I had a wonderful teacher, and we'd go around, we would read plays and go and see them and critique them. And at that point, I thought I wanted to be a theater critic, David. I thought I could do, that's what I could do with because I could interpret what an author or playwright was saying. So, and then I came back and learned, I went an extra year as an undergrad so I could take all the theater courses and do everything in theater. My thesis ended up being in theater because I discovered that all of these papers you could write for English that were all about interpreting literature, and you hand it to a teacher, and the teacher goes off, and that's it. But with acting, I could take an interpretation of what I thought was happening and actually do something with it, and affect an audience and get into it for me. And I also could learn a lot from, I could learn things in a much deeper way. So I was really bitten by that bug. My mother was an opera singer too, so that was always in my household. And music was always part of the household. So that led me into it. And I then went on to grad school after that. We both followed different grad schools. I went to Juilliard. So that was the other thing that really, once I could get into that, a school like that, I actually did ACT first here, the summer conservatory, that to see if conservatory was for me, which it was. And then went off to New York and stayed there for about 10 years, and then came back to Portland, like you said earlier, and was there for another, 20, I don't know how many years.
Only me.
I don't know.
So, in case people are watching on speaker view, I'm going to sneak into the frame here.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't know, they're married, so
Oh,
yes.
Oh, will. Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, I love that you mentioned. I didn't realize your mom was an opera singer, and I know you were in master class in Portland. That was quite an experience.
Yeah, that was actually very meaningful to me because it was that. So not only because because my mother was an opera singer, so this was a chance to kind of pay homage to her and to Callis, who If you know about Callas, what she brought to opera was acting, was a real truth in character for the operatic stage. She was one that really fought for that. And also has, she never marked her performances or marked her rehearsals. So everything was full on out, which is something I tend to do too, which can cause lots of problems because it's very emotionally and physically draining to do that. But it's very difficult to not really come at it with that same ferocity, which is kind of what I learned from that too, and that it was okay. And I don't know if there are other people out there, but when you play a person that actually lived, there's something about it that has an added freedom for me, in that I felt like I'm going out for this person, that you're honoring this person in caring.
Lisa, I think it's one of the great magical things about theater is that we can reinvent people or bring them back to life. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I love that the theater can do that. And I'm like you. It's like marking it. What's that about? I want to live longer in this skin, right?
Exactly. I'm not going to learn anything really, if I'm not going to push it. So
go whole hog, even if you're wrong, which of course you never are really.
Exactly.
How'd you two meet, and have you ever shared the stage together?
To the second part, we haven't yet really. We've done a few little one-off kind of projects that aren't really. One of them was a private gathering. The other one was a very particular specialized project, I guess you could say.
Like the 52nd Street Project. We did that this summer. Actually, it was kind of fun, which if you know or familiar with 52nd Street Project in New York, they work with at-risk youth, and they get actors to come in and normally take the plays that the kids have written and bring them to life so the kids feel successful. And so because we were actors that lived together, we could work. They were looking for actors who lived together, and so we were able to do that remotely. And I was a show horse, and he was the cowhand. So that's all we'll say about that. So
you want to tell them how we met?
We met. Okay, so I think Luann is still here, because my good friend Luann, who's here. I was in Portland, living in Portland, had been broken up with my boyfriend and stuff for a couple of years, and just kind of had given up on men. And I thought, well, I'm just going to do things I want to do, and I want to go down to Ashland. And Luann, let's go down to Ashland and have a fun weekend. And so we planned that, and asked a friend of ours that was new to living up in Portland, Amy Gonzalez, and she's used to people remember her. She was a director down here.
She did a lot of stuff with Theater Works and Teatro Vision.
Yeah. So we asked her to join us, and she said, well, I actually am already going there that exact same weekend with my friends from the Bay Area. Oh, well, that's weird. And she said, let's meet up. So on the Bricks afterwards. So we met up on the Bricks afterwards, and there was Tom and his best friend, Ed, at the time. Well,
so my friend Ed, who I met at Santa Clara, I went Santa Clara and UC Davis. We have a standing appointment to kind of rendezvous at in Ashland every year to go see shows and so forth. And so this was our turn, and we expanded it to include one of my colleagues at Foothill, Janice, and Amy was one of our colleagues from Foothill, and we invited her because we knew that she was having some difficulty transitioning to the Portland weather scene. So yeah.
Anyway, so we met, and he was very friendly and funny and nice. And then I at first thought, well, he was with Ed and they were so cute together. They were like a little comedy act. And I thought, well, he's probably gay because he's with this man and they're so nice and everything. And then we were chatting. He's also a teacher and I was a teacher, and we had so many things in common. But then he thanked Amy for introducing us as we were all leaving to friends. And he looked at me and I felt a vibe from him that was not gay. So I became a 12-year-old girl for the rest of the weekend and couldn't talk to him at all, basically. It became kind of catatonic.
We met up to go out for drinks afterwards, and
yeah, we all went up and everybody could
After
feel
the
it and
show.
situated us next to each other. So we had this giant table. Everybody's ordering a drink. He orders a gigantic strawberry sundae like
raspberry.
thing.
It was raspberry.
Thing.
It was
Anyway, I'm
raspberry.
sitting next to him, but because I've suddenly become 12 years old and like I can't talk to him, I can't even refer to it. But I sit there and think, why isn't he drinking a drink? And then I think,
Yeah,
oh, probably
Tom,
an
you need to learn to drink.
I know.
Oh, what,
You need to learn to
don't
drink.
interrupt the punchline here, kid. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
So I thought either he's an alcoholic, you know, and I thought, okay, I just had gone through that with somebody, I didn't want to deal with that, but okay, or not, you know, I didn't know, but I couldn't. You'd think that would be something I could say to him, like, oh, you know, but I couldn't talk to him. Basically, was kind of not looking at him, but. Anyway, we got through that and felt the energy, and
we spent about 4 months corresponding via email back and forth until I finally took the plunge and said, okay, coming up to Portland to visit you to see if this, you know, this works and stuff. And we went and saw a show called The Receptionist, which was fantastic, and we had a nice Indian food dinner, and we had a ukulele lesson.
It was Keep Portland Weird weekend, so it was perfect because we could do weird things. And then we're 9 years long distance, and we saw each other every 2 to 3 weeks for 9 years, and we spoke every night on the phone at 11:30 at night. And that's how we kept it, because my daughter was still in school, and it was until she went to college, and you know, not thinking how to do it. You just do it, and then sooner or later time goes by, you know. And then time went by,
and then I after her daughter graduated from college, when I proposed on the spot at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival where we met. And it was after a matinee performance of Timon of Athens. How's that for romantic? But it was with an understudy. So I had it all set up to understudy in the lead role who was reading the script. And I had it all set up that this was going to happen on the bricks after the show. So I was a little concerned that she was going to want to leave at intermission.
Anyway, it was very cute. He had a guitarist playing out there, and he didn't tell anybody, and all of our friends. Well, and then he's told Ed to take a picture of us together. And while Ed's like, why are you so insistent upon the picture? And then he got down on his knee, and I thought, oh my gosh. And he gave me a bunch of roses, and then he opened up the box, and it was very unexpected and very sweet and beautiful. So. That's that.
God.
Now that you asked.
It was so perfect for a pre-Valentine's Day show.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Everyone's just kind of like swooning in the chat, and then there's like all these like soft faces.
Oh,
I
one other little thing that I knew he was the man for me. When I did come down here for my first visit, he had a little dog, Mo, and Mo is a tiny little dog, and we were going out for a walk, and he said, oh, wait a minute. And Mo was very possessive of him, actually. I don't think she liked me much because she could feel there was some that was not directed at her. But anyway, but then Tom said, wait a second. And he went and he got a little teeny sweater and put it on the little teeny dog, so the dog would feel all warm and cozy when we went on the walk. And then I thought, okay, this big.
And now he does that to you.
Kind of. Yeah.
There is one sort of fun story that, you know, we have all kinds of coincidences that happen, like Dan Roach and Jackie O'Keefe, who I've done shows with at City Lights. We found out that Dan's daughter taught in the very next room to Luisa's daughter at the
No, not to me.
to you in a middle school in Portland.
She was literally right.
Literally.
No, when he said, "Do you know an Emily?" I said, I turned the phone because you could hear her through the wall. I said,
Wow.
"That's Emily."
Right.
Yeah, Emily. Yeah.
We found out that Luisa's mom, when they used to live in Palo Alto area, she taught at the school that was right across the street from the house that I grew up in. Might have possibly been my brother's 4th grade teacher had we not been. We had moved across the country for 1 year to live in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Hey, we had so many. Our first cars.
Yeah. Well, and the best one was one day I was telling her the story of the worst director I ever had in grad school. And I was like, this guy was a monster. You had to check your ego at the door. He was vicious. It wasn't a successful rehearsal if somebody wasn't crying. And then I imitated him. And I'm like, that was shit. Try it again one more time, and this time do it better. And her face just dropped completely because
I said, "Is that William Gaskell?" Who I also had the exact same experience with at Juilliard. He had come out and he was a horrific director. He was horrible to all of us. He was going through a bad breakup, but he was drinking a lot, and he would just, make it better. When Maggie did it,
So our mutual worst director experiences were in grad school, UC Davis and Juilliard. So
with the same,
with the same guy,
visiting director from England. Yeah.
Tom, I got a little bit of vibe of your director from Stage Kiss there when you said that.
You probably had a little of that.
Is Bracco here? Is Bracco here tonight?
No, unfortunately, no.
He knows. Him and Gandolfi picked that one out. I'm not gonna say anything, but he and Gandolfi were like, "That was just a little bit." Here's an interesting little tidbit. The first show I did in high school, so just after William Tell, was called Stage Door, and I played a director in Stage Door. And then Stage Kiss was my 100th show on stage, where I played a director in Stage Kiss. So Stage Kiss, Stage Door, 100 shows.
Love it. Does anybody else have questions for our host or our contestants? Everyone feel free to turn your mics on.
We're in Stage Door, Deb.
No. If it's only me, then I'm going to ask one question of our hosts and our contestants. I want to hear, what's your favorite role you've ever played, and what's your dream role that you wish you could play?
Ooh. Favorite is tough because as I'm sure everybody feels, there's so many qualities for different things. Sometimes the challenge to get through something that's a complete challenge is becomes your favorite for that reason. And sometimes it's so much fun. So, those two,
I mean, the most rewarding one, and Kristen's out there somewhere, I did do Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf at Los Altos Stage Company, which was the hardest mountain to climb. And thank you to my collaborator, Kristen, for that one. The one you can see behind me here, Greater Tuna, was certainly super fun. But I was sort of thinking about, what show was it that I felt like most complete part of the ensemble that I would just love to take this show and run it forever? And that was Complete Female Stage Beauty, which City Lights did 2011, I think it was. So it's been 10 years now, but that was just, it was a show that the audience didn't know very well. And it was such a magnificently assembled story with a terrific cast. I had 7 former students in the cast of that one. And it was heartfelt, it was beautiful, it was humorous, it was dangerous. And it was all these things that just took the audience on a journey. And I sort of just was like, this is one I could run this forever. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I think one show for me, which I'll never be able to do, so this isn't, again, which Luann was my director for, which was called 9 Parts of Desire. So I played 9 different Iraqi women. It was a 1-woman show. So for me, that was like a huge challenge. And again, it was a very painful show, but it was also one of those things where I felt responsibility to telling these women's stories. So it made it very important for me. And I learned so much about, that's one of the beautiful things about being an actor, I think, or being in theater, that you learn so much about different cultures and different ways of being and different kinds of people and different parts of yourself and how they connect. So for that was, and it was a hard challenge. I mean, Luann can remember where I was like 2 weeks before we opened, or maybe it was a week before, crying in the puddle, and not the crying part in the play yet, just me crying, thinking, how am I going to do this? Oh, and then just doing it.
It was 2 weeks before.
2 weeks.
And Luisa won the Portland version of the Tony for that. Well deserved.
Oh, well, that was a wonderful experience. And I have to say, one of the most fun I had was this time last year, which again, a show which not this time last year, in the Christmas time, I went up to Portland and did another show called The Strange Undoing of Prudencia Hart. And it's a wild show that's all done out with the giant hall where it's like a pub atmosphere with the audience. And so people were dancing on tables and interacting with the audience, all Scottish. I also was the dialect coach on that. So it was really fun because I got to bring all that to it.
She was born in Glasgow,
yeah.
Just in case.
It was very interactive. So it was very, like, when you think about right now what theater could be, that's like the farthest possible thing. I mean, that would be the last play anybody will ever do for years to come.
That and Stage Kiss.
Yeah, that and Stage Kiss. So it was so much fun. It was just crazy, ridiculous fun and outrageous and naughty. So it was all those things that are fun to do sometimes.
Love it.
And I have a bucket list role that I'll just put out there because I keep putting it out there, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But is Rose Tattoo? That's for me is a show that I don't know what it is about. Well, Williams in general Williams and Chekhov to me are my favorites. And Williams, I find you don't even have to learn lines very much. It's all there for you. It's just, he takes you on a journey. He's so good about female roles, strong women with vulnerability, which is a strong woman. So I really appreciate his work in that way. And that's one of those roles that has that. That's a pretty known play that I want to do.
Mm-hmm. All right, if we're thinking outside the box here, Renfield from Dracula. I want to be a crazy prisoner who eats spiders. So there you go.
We're a good team.
Yeah.
How about our contestants? Let's start with you, Mike. You've got to have a favorite role and a dream role.
Yeah, sure. I was thinking my favorite went through like 3 or 4 different ones while I was thinking about it, but I think what I've settled on, it was a dual roles because it's a Clybourne Park at Palo Alto Players back in 2015 where I played the roles of Carl and Steve. Incredible challenge, incredibly kind of risky material, dealing on touchy subjects where we could have, where the characters are at each other's throats, but we had a company that was just unbelievably wonderful, and we are lifelong friends and managed to kind of navigate those really difficult waters together. And it's, again, one of those ones that I wish could have run for a lot longer than 3 weeks. As far as dream, the one dream role that I still have that I haven't aged out of is I'm desperate to play Bruce in Fun Home. I want that to happen more than anything right now.
Such a wonderful show.
Oh my gosh. Kills me. I
gotta say, I gotta say, ideation is up in there for me too, because what Mike was saying was ringing some hairs on the back of my neck here. So just the the shock value and the
Of doing
difficulty in doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Carol?
I think favorite role was number 2 in The Wolves at City Lights. In that show, it's not only very physically demanding, we were doing full workouts on stage every night, but it's also mentally challenging because it's so fast. And especially for my character, I think I was the only one with costume changes between every scene, and they happen in a second. And it was so much fun, but so challenging. So I loved that. And then dream role, I am waiting for the day when I'm old enough to play the grandma in Pippin.
Oh, nice.
I want to come on, say some funny things, throw out some solid advice, sing a great song, and then peace out.
Love it.
Love to do that.
That's a great
Kind of got to do that in Merchant of Venice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you did. Now, David, I admit I don't know if you have acting background, but you certainly have directing and writing about theater background. How do you want to answer the question?
I will just say I will just continue to enjoy you all doing your favorite dream roles, and I look forward to being in the audience for those. So there you go.
Well said. Well said. Well, we are a little past 9. It's about the time we usually wrap up. So unless anybody has anything else they'd like to say to our hosts or participants, or to each other, I think we'll call it a night. A lot of nice comments in the chat.
It's so wonderful to see all of your names and see you guys. And it's been too long.
I know.
So big hugs to everybody, and thanks for
everybody.
joining a little bit of nonsense here tonight.
It was so much fun.
It was fun, you guys.
Probably put a lot of work into all of those questions, but maybe you'd consider doing it again sometime because it was so fun.
Yes. Yes. It was really terrific.
Me and trivia, now that we know how to use this thing a little better, sure.
And the contestants were fantastic. You were all
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, everybody was so great. This was great. This is the first time we did something like this. And I told Dan Deemers over at Hill Barn, I said, we're completely stealing your idea. We're doing a trivia night. And he said, great, go for it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Luisa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I loved every moment of it. And I thought that the only thing that they should have pointed out when they said great Scott is you, because you're the great Scott. And I immediately thought of Macbeth.
And my mother, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it was wonderful, and I am so impressed with the knowledge that I just was amazed. I loved it all. I loved it. Thank you very, very much for making it so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. We'll be back in Zoom next week with this series. And next week, we're going to shine the spotlight on Los Altos Stage Company. We're going to have some folks from Los Altos talk about their mini streaming series that they've been doing this season. We'll have actor Max Takis and director Rhone Eliza Rahamim from Fully Committed from last year. We will have Judith Miller, who just played Anne Richards in Anne. Fantastic show. I know our Anne saw that. And then we'll be previewing their final show in the mini streaming series, which is Tom Paine Based on Nothing by Will Eno. We'll have actor Michael Champlin. Champlin will be here, as well as artistic director Gary Landis. So we'll those of you who have seen shows at Los Altos know they do great work, and we'll be highlighting them next week. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe, everyone.